Hey pen people! Today I am really excited to show you a sweet pen rest. Like, this thing is mind-blowingly cool. Probably the coolest pen rest I've ever seen, which is saying something because I made some pen rests that I thought were pretty cool and I sold them because apparently other people thought they were kind of cool too. But this just kind of blows me away, and I hope it blows you away too. So a company emailed me and said, hey, we're CoppertistWu. We have this really cool pen stand that we want you to review. Would you be interested in that? And I saw the pictures and I was like, yeah, I would be interested. So that's my little disclaimer here. This is something that I got for free in exchange for a review, but I'm still gonna do my best to be objective. And spoiler alert, it's pretty cool. There's not a lot of cons to this. So I'm excited to show it to you. Also, there will be a promo code and a link down below if you are interested in checking this out for yourself. Okay, so it comes in this little box. It says CoppertistWu on it. It's cardboard. It's nice, I like it. Open it up, and there's a little pouch inside, kind of a cloth leatherette kind of feel. Open that up, and we've got this crazy rattlesnake pen rest. It's crazy cool. And to show you how crazy cool it is, I'm going to switch camera angles to my hands on my desk, and as well as probably put up some photos so you can really see a more crisp idea of what this thing looks like. Okay, here we go. So I have it here on black fabric, partly to provide contrast and make it easier to see, but also so you don't hear throughout the whole video as I'm tinkering with this thing. So the first thing you'll notice, aside from it being a rattlesnake, is the positioning of the rattlesnake. Like, wow, who was the artist who came up with that shape? It's just such an organic, natural looking shape. It's just very lifelike, and I really like that. I feel like it would have been really easy to be like, oh, let's make a snake pen rest and then have it just be like a spiral or something. And I mean, if you know me, I actually really like spirals, but I just love how lifelike and natural the shape of this is. It's actually not just for holding pens. The company pointed out, you know, you can put knives on it and different things like that. The only knives I have are these guys. Not the best fit there, but if you have some cool decorative knife, then maybe that would work. Also, one thing that's cool, and I don't know if this will come across, but right down inside its mouth, there is a small hole that kind of goes down its throat. And not only does that just kind of add a little bit to the likeness of it, you know, just to kind of see this dark hole inside its mouth, but it's actually also an incense stand. You can put incense sticks in there and it will hold those up. So I don't have any incense, but if you do, then that might be an extra perk of this. Yeah, so they've really thought of a lot of different cool things that you can do with this. And let's talk about the materials it's made out of. So it is brass, solid brass as far as I know, the body at least. And then the rattle here at the end is 925 silver. On the bottom here we have a little logo that says CoppertistWu, and it is apparently purple brass. Didn't know that was a thing, but it definitely has a more reddish or maybe purplish hue to it compared to the dingy gold of kind of traditional brass. And another thing that's interesting is these eyes are actually inlaid zircon. And if you kind of angle it just right, you'll see the eyes kind of flash at you, which is fun. It's another lifelike little touch there. So let's talk about some quick pros and cons here. Like I said earlier, the cons, there's not a whole lot, but let's focus on the pros first. So it's really well made. It's really kind of stunning. It's hefty. You can tell it's solid metal. It's very heavy. And that's nice for a pen stand like this, because it is kind of a balancing act putting a pen on here, and you wouldn't want something super lightweight that could get knocked around or tipped over really easily. This works really well. I also just love how unique it is. It's just very different. You know, I've seen cat pen rests, I've seen crab pen rests, and they're mostly kind of, you know, plasticky, 3D printed, that kind of thing. So this just stands out in pretty stark contrast to that as a very alternative aesthetic to other things that are already on the market. I also just really like how it looks with pens on it. You can check out my Instagram for a couple more pictures. I've got a link to that down below. I just really love how it balances kind of in the crook of its neck and then its tail right here. And I've tried it with a number of different pens, and it doesn't seem to matter as far as the thickness of the pen or if there's a big step between the cap and the barrel of the pen. It seems pretty not picky as far as what kind of pen you decide to put on this thing. Now, there really are only two cons that I can think of, and they're kind of wimpy. One is that this does cost significantly more than your typical pen rest. I'm not going to name a price here simply because prices change. It's always frustrating to me to see like a pen video from like 10 years ago, and they're like, oh, this pen's like $15, and then you get online, it's 25, you know? So just check out the website if you want to look at the price. You have to decide if you're willing to drop that on a pen rest, but if you do, I think that you won't be disappointed. I think that that the materials and the design and everything is just working really well here. The only other thing I can think of is that the scales are a little bit sharp. That's not bad. Honestly, I kind of like it. If you've ever held a real snake or lizard or something like that before, you know that there's a grain to the scales. So if you rub it one way, it's smooth, and then the other way, it's jagged. And that's kind of how this snake is. And I like that. It adds to the lifelike naturalness of this. So I really like that quite a bit. But I don't know if this is the best pen for like your Maki-E Urushi lacquer type pens. You know, I don't know if I could confidently say, yeah, put your $10,000 pen on this, it'll be fine, because you might get some micro scratches from this metal, depending on the material of your pen. For example, I already showed you this pen, my Lamy All-Star Petrol Edition. I just did a video about this recently, if you want to check that out, by the way. This one, I've actually been using it on this pen rest quite a bit, and it's been fine. But I have heard that All-Stars, the anodized aluminum, is somewhat scratch prone, so I've been a little bit careful not to slide it around as I'm taking it on and off. You know, you just put it on, take it off, make sure you're gentle. But then there are pens like the Gravitas Entry, where the bead blasted finish is such that it's like scratch proof, you know, like I could just throw this on there and I'd be more worried about the pen rest than the pen. So just keep that in mind. And kind of like, you know, when you get like a cleaning product or something, it's like test on a small surface. You can't really do that with a pen, but just test it out and ease yourself into using this if you're going to be using it with a more delicate or rare or expensive kind of pen. Otherwise, you know, if you're just going to have it on your desk and pull your Metropolitan on and off, you know, I'm not worried about that. So just something to keep in mind. I don't really feel like it's an actual con. I like the way this feels quite a bit, but it's just something to keep in mind and to be just a little bit careful of. That reminds me, I forgot to mention one impressive detail about this is just the sheer detail of the scales. According to the email exchange I had with their representative, there are over 2,000 scales on this thing. You know, it's all solid one piece and everything, but like 2,000 scales. It's very, very detailed, very minute. So that's very cool. Anyway, I'm really grateful that CoppertistWu decided to send me this. This is really fun to have. I'm really glad to have it. I've enjoyed using it. I've enjoyed seeing it on my shelf where I keep my inked up pens. And yeah, so check it out. Again, there's a link in the description as well as a promo code. And if you want to see more cool pen stuff, make sure you like and subscribe. And I will talk to you later. Bye.